It's 6 o'clock.
Refrigerator.
Good morning. It's Thursday, July 24, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma on the news this morning. Ahoda East CSO, Chief of Staff, deny facing attempted murder charges over assault on administrator. Port Harcourt socialite Seymour apologizes, offers settlement after viral assault claims on 5 women. Bill to ban public servants from using private schools, hospitals passes first reading. U.S. travel warning on River State stirs comment. On the foreign scene, White House reacts to report U.S. President Trump was named in Epstein files. Details of these and more after this break. Yeah, welcome back. I'm Ife Chukwumoyele with the news. Now, the Ahoda East Chief Security Officer Hector Kaketa and Chief of Staff Aloni Olodi say they were not charged with attempted murder, contrary to some report. Recall that the River State Police Command declared the CSO of Ahoda East Local Government Area, Hector Kaketa, and the Chief of Staff, Mr. Aloni Olodi, wanted following the violent attack on the sole administrator of Ahoda East, Mr. Goodluck Ihanacho, on June 20th, 2025 at the Council Secretariat. But speaking to our correspondent in Makotoka, their lawyer, Innocent Wood, clarified that his clients are facing 6 charges the misdemeanor on both and bail at 2 million naira each with 2 sureties and like sum.
The criminal charge level against them are available. They are triable by the magistrate court, and the magistrate court adjourned from that 17th of July to 23rd being today for bail consideration. And today, the court, after considering the bail application we made on their behalf on the 17th of July, deemed it fit to grant them bail, and that bail is subsisting. So, for any person to say that the criminal charges level against them were dropped, the person is speaking out of malice. That's the gospel truth. The person is speaking out of malice because the criminal charges has not been dropped. They were admitted to bail in the sum of 2 million naira. With 2 shorties each in the life sum.
The lawyer also said the matter has been adjourned to August 7 for a hearing on the 6-count charges.
The criminal charges has not been dropped. In fact, we have taken another date, 7th of August, for hearing of the criminal trial against them. So they are still standing trial as we speak.
In another development, Port Harcourt socialite Ikechi Madoba, popularly known as Seymour, has reached a private settlement with the 5 women who accused him of assault at a nightclub in the city. The women, Innocent Stellerman, Juliet Obasi, Jennifer Chidibiri, Antonia Okoye, and Onwaha filed a complaint. The nightclub incident blew up on social media, but when the case was accepted. Following this, the women filed an affidavit of withdrawal, and the case was struck out by Magistrate Buzuge Kobani. The lady's lawyer spoke to our correspondent on this.
So the defendant did reached out to my client. He was contrite, showed contrition, made apologies, reached out to the families of the nominal complainant, and also made a settlement. Also made an offer, a financial settlement, of course. So it was consequent upon that fact that the girls agreed to solve the matter. So the defendant in question learned his lesson, and that should be an example to everyone facing. Be whoever you are, how high you may think you are. The law, the hands of the law is not that short, can bring you down if you've heard. So So that should be the lesson every person should learn from this story.
Seymour's lawyer declined to comment. Moving on now, former Minister of Transportation Chibuike Amechi says coalition leaders will support whoever emerges as the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) for the 2027 general elections. Amechi, a two-term governor of Rivers State, stated this in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. Briefing journalists, he explained that the opposition leaders were optimistic that the process leading to the emergence of the party's flag bearer would be transparent, free, and fair.
It's just to reassure our supporters and Rivers people that there's a new party in town, and that every Rivers man who thinks good of the state and the country should move to register with the new party and ensure that we remove the current government and stop the hunger that everybody is suffering from. The moment anybody emerges from the transparent primary, all of us will support whoever emerges. All of us. That's the agreement.
Staying with politics, a public affairs analyst, Ijoma Obi, is asking political leaders in Rivers State to trust their successors to achieve the goals of the founding fathers of the state. His advice comes following recent development in Akwa Ibom State, where Senate President Godswill Akpabio publicly introduced Governor Omo Eno to President Bola Tinubu as the leader of the state and the All Progressive Congress (APC) during a state function. Speaking with correspondent Obiuruwari, Obi said Rivers politicians should consider the development of the state and not their personal interest.
The Senate President Godswill Akpabio demonstrated consciousness of that structure, that leadership of the state. The political leaders in Rivers State should learn to trust their successors when the case arises. Because the Senate President demonstrated a statement of total honor. If the politicals in Rivers had done this simple task earlier, we would have averted. I think that would have saved us this situation.
Also, former Commissioner for Information and Communications Obonna Nwuke believes now that this has returned in the political family of the state.
We need to commend the Senate President, regardless of his position, for being humble, for being realistic. But what that means is that there is no way anyone can circumvent the important role that governors play in the polity. Well, in Rivers, we are watching. It shows that to lead, one must be led. It's not as if all is lost in Rivers State. We can salute that even example. Now that peace has returned in Rivers State, we will work together and we'll do things together the way we're supposed to do that. Why not wait? See on Rivers. It won't be surprised.
And now, a public affairs analyst, Olaleko, says the emergency rule has slowed down developed state. He spoke on Nigerian Info FM's Talking Figures, warning that Rivers State will need to be more deliberate about investments, considering how neighboring states like Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa are rising.
State of emergency has not done the state any good. It has the spiral effect of affecting almost every other sector. When a government awards a contract, say for example, to build a school, you know what spirals out of that? You are going to be buying wood, you are going to be buying roofing sheets, you are going to be buying blocks, you are going to be buying cement, you are going to employ laborers. Those that are work site will need to eat. Naturally, those who cook, mama put will also move towards that direction. Water will be sold. Then workers will be able to get money across, to their children to go to school. You see?
Away from that, residents of GRA Phase 3, particularly Uwoji and Eva Road, say the height of flash floods in the area on rainy days is alarming. Now, they told our correspondent that flood water often finds its way into their homes. They wondered why a government residential area is affected by such a magnitude of flash flood. They urged the Rivers State government to properly channel drainages in the area and distill the canal along Amechi Drive in GRA.
When we come like this, water flood will full everywhere. So people will not stay here, just find where and go inside and stay till the rain finish. And the flood, the water will go inside before we start coming out and sell again. People have to the employment because they got where they know too deep. They got away.
When there is a campus here, but they can do something about it. There's a canal somewhere, channel the drainage to that place. There is a jet and necessarily the government and things. This as I made to be nice.
They raise the gutter not deep enough. Raise the road down.
No see any way put some people scared of maybe to enter good flood this.
Come stakeholders demand action, but Harcourt fails to resume 60 days to maintenance patch. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria.
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The paramount ruler of Woji community, Eze Emeka George Ihunwa, has dismissed claims of a planned youth election in the community. This follows a letter circulating allegedly from the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth Development, Mrs. Ruhuoma Ekeje, requesting security and logistics from the Obiakpo Sole Administrator, Dr. Walter Ndu, to conduct an election on Saturday. Addressing newsmen, Eze Ihunwa, who presented court documents to support his stance, said the community is unaware of any plans for an election. He explained that the current youth president had earlier informed the permanent secretary in a letter dated June 11 that all election aspirants are claimant in a pending youth court case adjourned on October 13, 2025.
That letter was signed by one Ruhuoma Ekeje to the sole administrator of Obiakpo to provide security and logistics for her office to conduct youth election in Woji on Saturday. We are not aware. Nobody has told us. Some of the aspirants now are claimants in court over the same youth issue. The woman having received this letter now is coming back that she's aware that the court has gone on recess to conduct election. That will amount to subjudice now. Where is she going to? Now wanting to bring in our innocent sole administrator of Obiakpo into it. God forbid.
On his part, the Woji Youth President, Shoma Kingsley Wallo, reiterated that he is still the youth president of the community, warning against any form of participation in the proposed election.
I'm dumbfounded when I heard that they want to conduct a Woji youth election, which is not supposed to be, because I'm the incumbent supposed to settle. So what I say is that nobody will attend that election because I'm the incumbent president. I have not consulted any ELECO. I have not raised the flag for any election. My tenure is still running. By so doing, I'm still the youth president of the community. I don't understand why such double standard. And the court has not determined the process or the proceeding of the matter in court, which was adjourned for all parties to be served.
The Woji monarch and youth president is now calling on security agencies and the Obiakpo Council boss to caution Keje against actions that could trigger unrest in the community.
Want to do this medium, call on the break.
It's cohort for whatever happens in Woji, if there's any law and break.
Dr. KJ has promised to respond to this. Moving on now, it's been exactly 60 days since the management of Port Harcourt Refinery Company announced a turnaround maintenance and promised to resume operations after 30 days. Concerned over the delay in resuming operations, some stakeholders in the oil and gas sector have called on President Bola Tinubu and the management of NNPCL to urgently intervene. One of them, Sonny Mbe, said all that is needed is political will for the Port Harcourt refinery to work because it's almost ready for production.
This is about 60 days. That plant hasn't come up. The Area 1 and Area 2 plant is still lying there. It hasn't come up. The Unit 12 and Unit 14 that was supposed to be blending the reformate and further cracking or blending of naphtha to produce PMS is not ready. The LPG plant is not ready. These are what they were supposed to have handled within the short period that they intended to shut down. So we are worried because community has keyed into this vision of President Bola Tinubu and his desire to make these refineries work. Up to today, we don't know what's going on.
Another marketer, Emmanuel Inimba, spoke on this.
Bringing this matter to the attention of the Minister of State of Petroleum, Oil, and the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC.
For an act to prohibit public and civil servants from patronizing private school institutions, Oga urged Nigerians civil the bill. Also, a security expert, Promise Dapper, says the U.S. travel advisory warning its citizens against traveling to Rivers State, excluding Port Harcourt, is a red flag to the Rivers State government. Dapper, a retired naval commodore, told correspondent Yekachi Nwosu that the state government needs to step up its game in addressing security challenges in the state.
for the country or the state where such is given. It's also like a red flag for the government in that state or in that country to also look around. There could have been some breaches. There could be things that they are handling or they are not doing very well. So it's for them to also look in and do more. It's a call to service. You can do more, because you are not anybody will say, now in Rivers State, we would in Rivers State, we release it.
Retired Commodore Daba, however, said the advisory should not be seen as negative publicity for Rivers State, but rather as part of the U.S. government's responsibility to protect its citizens. As you may know, the United States government, in its latest travel advisory, asks its citizens to avoid traveling to Rivers State, excluding Port Harcourt, due to rising cases of crime, kidnapping, and the activities of armed gangs. Now, it also advised its citizens against traveling to Bayelsa and 17 other states. In the advisory, the U.S. government said the advisory is due to factors such as the unavailability of adequate healthcare services, increasing rates of terrorism and kidnapping, and widespread criminal activity. On the international scene, the White House has pushed back against reports that President Donald Trump is among hundreds of names that appear in Justice Department documents relating to the late convicted pedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. A White House spokesperson said the claims were nothing more than a continuation of the fake news stories concocted by the Democrats and the liberal media. It comes as a U.S. judge denied the Justice Department's bid to unseal Florida court files on Epstein. On the news this morning, you heard Ahoda ECSO and the Chief of Staff have denied facing attempted murder charges over assault on administrator. Port Harcourt socialite Seymour has apologized and offered settlement after viral assault claims by 5 women. A bill to ban public servants from using private schools and hospitals has passed first reading. The U.S. travel advisory on Rivers State and others has stirred comments. On the foreign scene, you heard White House has denied reports that U.S. President Trump was named in Epstein files. The news was edited by Chioma Ezenwafo. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyale. Many thanks for listening.